I'm in Shenandoah National Park, and this is Powell Gap. Here's Skyline Drive, and the Appalachian Trail crosses Skyline Drive right there, where that signpost is over there. I'm going to head over there today, and I'm going to climb the summit over here and hike along the AT south for a ways. There's my little red car. The elevation here is 2295. Two-tenths of a mile into my hike, I'm up to 2420 elevation, and the Appalachian Trail is right over there. This area is extremely overgrown, but the trail's over there, and right next to it here, just a little bit, I guess, north of it is a huge ditch. This was some kind of a road coming down through here. Don't know if that's going to show up, but that's the remains of an old road. Turned itself into a drainage ditch. I'll have to look on some of the older maps when I get home and see what I can find out. A couple of trees rubbing up against each other up there. Okay, well, just slightly above where I was showing you the old road was, the AT actually comes into the road bed. There's the AT, and there's the old road bed there coming up through here, and here's the AT going up. Now I'm standing in the middle of the road bed. So the AT follows this old road up the side of the mountain here for a ways. Four-tenths of a mile into my hike, I'm climbing up to 2510 elevation and out of breath. There's where I came from up through here. There's quite a bit of mountain laurel up through here, so this might be a nice hike to take in the spring when the mountain laurel's in bloom. Anyway, double blaze here. There's part of a trail that continues on straight. That's probably what the old road did. But this is a turn, sharp turn to the left, and we're gonna climb even more steeply up this way. Can't wait for that. Six-tenths of a mile into my hike, I'm up to 2,610 feet elevation, and there's a little bit of an overlook here, and there's one more overlook rock I see over there to my right. So, and behind me there's a campsite up here, so I'll mark that on my GPS. I'll get a picture of that for you too. But this is a nice view from here. This would actually be a nice place to come up to in the fall. And you could look at all the leaves over there turning. So just on the other side of the AT from that overlook is this nice little cleared out camping spot here. You got yourself a big log to sit on. It's pretty flat up here. So I mean, that's room for a tent there. Plenty of trees up here for hammocks. No fires though. No open fires in the park. And then right there's the Appalachian Trail, and then just beyond there is the overlook. Here's a view from the second overlook. It's just a few hundred feet south of the first one. And then it also has a small campsite over here. I'll walk over there and take a little shot of that one too. So over there's the overlook, the second overlook, and on the other side of the AT, I'm calling this a campsite too. It's not as nice as the first one I showed you, but you could, there's rocks sticking up there, folks, but I'm not worried about that because I mostly use hammocks. Okay, a few hundred yards south of the two overlooks, here's another possible little camp spot right there. Nine-tenths of a mile into my hike. I'm up to 2660. Still climbing the mountain on the AT. I got to get up to 3,000 feet to get up to the peak. So I don't know. When I get up there, I might I might stop there and then turn around and look for a place to set up my hammock and relax for a little while. Because I could press on to Simmons Gap, but that's probably another 2 miles. 2 miles out, 2 miles back. Plus I got to climb the mountain again. So I may turn around when I get up here to the summit. We'll see. But one thing's interesting is the park's pretty busy today. It's Sunday. And there's a lot of people in the park. I had to wait in line for a while just to get in at the entrance, but once you get a mile or so off of Skyline Drive, this is what you're looking at. Nothing. I mean, you're just out in the wilderness. Kind of like it this way. .8 miles into my hike. I'm up to 2930 elevation. I'm still climbing. I'm almost up to the summit though. And I stopped here because this is an interesting little thing right here. This is some sort of a marker. Somebody, it looks like somebody took a rock and jammed it into this stump here. Tree stump. This is a tree stump. And this rock is jammed into it. Now I don't know if that was put in there when it was standing. It looks like this looks like it was cut down. So I'm not sure. The other interesting thing is right next to it is this trail that heads back off that way. and that would be heading down the east side of the mountain. Maybe you can see there's not a whole lot of trees through there, so don't know about that. Come back in the wintertime and go back in there and see what's up. Two miles into my hike, I'm up on the summit now. The elevation here is 3,000 feet. And I'll do a 360. This whole section of the Appalachian Trail is just really, really overgrown. It's even worse back there where I came from. But I think what I'm going to do is it's about a mile back to the Overlooks and the little camping areas that I showed you. So I think I may stop here and hike back to the Overlooks and throw up my day hammock and have a little snack and drink some water. I could do it up here, I could make it work, but it's nicer back there. So I'm going to turn around and start heading back, and I'll send some more pictures if I see anything else between here and there. .2 miles into my hike. I'm on my way back to my car, and this is the overlook area with the nice campsites. So there's my day hammock. Threw it up. Got my day pack over there hanging from a tree, and I've got the hammock hung kind of low so I can sit in it or lay in it. And to attach it, I just use this. It's a 3/4 inch mule tape, rated 2,500 pounds, and there's a sheet bend right there. And then this blue stuff is just a continuous loop of am steel, 1/8 inch am steel. That's 2,500 pound rated, so pretty strong setup there. So let me get in there and relax, and might even take my boots off for a few minutes here. All right. Took my boots off for a few minutes, take a load off, laying here in a hammock. I've been using an ENO double nest, but in July I got this one. This is a ENO single nest, so it's not quite as wide as a double, but it's plenty wide that you can get diagonal like this and laying it pretty flat. If I was going to do overnighter though, I'd use the double nest myself, but for day hiking I actually like this one better because it's the same length, it's just not quite as wide, so it packs down tighter, it's lighter weight, and I'm doing a no-no actually. See that dead tree there? And that end of my hammock, I attached it to a dead tree that's still standing. And right there is another dead tree. And let's see, over here is a great big one that blew down. And behind me, there's some more dead trees. So, also known as widowmakers. So I don't know. This is a really nice spot up here, but if you decide to, I mean, I'm just up here for an hour. But if you come up here and decide to do an overnighter, I'd look around, look up, make sure you're not directly under dead trees. So, but it's pretty nice up here right now. So I'm just going to relax, and after I pack up to head back down to my car, I'll walk out onto the overlook and take a few more pictures, because it's going to be, what, 2 hours later in the day, and the light will be different, so maybe we'll get some little bit different pictures that way. This is a map of today's hike. The quadrangle name is Swift Run Gap, 1997, and I hiked a stretch of the Appalachian Trail from Powell Gap down towards Simmons Gap. This is Powell Gap right here. This is about mile marker 70 along Skyline Drive. Down here is Simmons Gap, and this green line, I colored this in. This is the Appalachian Trail between the two gaps. So what I did was I parked here at Powell Gap. Now there's no formal parking lot here, so you just pull off into the grass. Be a little careful if it's been raining, because it can be soft. Now this little line here that I drew is the route of the old road coming down the side of the mountain, but it's abandoned. I'll have to go back in the wintertime if I want to investigate this, because this part here is completely, totally overgrown. So I just got on the Appalachian Trail and started climbing the mountain. Now when you get up to here, there is an overlook over here looking off to the east. And then behind there, on the other side of the Appalachian Trail, there's a couple of campsites, and I show those. Then you continue to climb the mountain. Then when I got to here, I noticed that there was a log laying on the ground with this big white stone jammed into it, like a monument or a marker. And then right next to it, there's this little beaten path coming through here. And I checked on one of the older maps, and sure enough, this route used to come up here and go down the side of the mountain down here to this saddle. Okay, and then come over to Simmons Gap like this. But nowadays what it does is it comes up to here and it just keeps right on going across the summit and down like this. So I decided I was going to originally hike all the way through to Simmons Gap, but then I started thinking about it. When I got to here, I thought, well, I'm at 3,000 feet. I'm going to have to drop way down to Simmons Gap and then turn around and climb back up to the same peak. So when I got to here, I turned around and went back to here and threw up my day hammock, had something to eat and something to drink and relax a little bit, and then back to my car. So turned out originally when I was going to go to Simmons Gap and back, it was going to be over 6 miles and like almost 1,700 feet of ascent, but I ended up doing 3.8 miles and 766 feet of ascent. So by stopping right here at the summit, I saved myself some mileage and a whole lot of vertical ascent. And that was the hike for today.